Y'all stop letting police lie to y'all. Let me give y'all some real education. First off, let's show this. Let's note that definition about to change expeditiously and doesn't need to wait on the census. So the U.S. is actually the last Western world country to allow us to claim MENA. Everybody else already does. Now, police, you said something about the indigenous peoples of the desert in North Africa. Well, there's an indigenous person of the desert. Doesn't fit the description you gave, does it? You said something about white skin developed when people went to Europe. That theory has been disproven by the scientific community over the last 20 years. I don't know if you knew that or not. But skin tone has actually varied for more than 900,000 years. 7 of the paler skin variants emerged at least 270,000 years ago. 4 of these arose more than 900,000 years ago, which predates modern humans, who came around 300,000 years ago by about 600,000 years. White skin existed longer than we did. And if Europeans went to Europe about 15,000 years ago, they didn't develop pale skin till roughly 6,000 years ago. They were in the process about 7. That timeline wouldn't fit. Again, 7,000 years ago, people in Europe were still known to have brown skin with blue and green eyes, straight hair and all that. These are not all the peoples, but these are some of the peoples that were in Egypt before the North and South was united under King Narmer, who was a Nubian man who also owned slaves. I bet you didn't know slavery existed since the first civilizations did. Now, you said that Europeans and Asians and Middle Easterns all had Neanderthal in them, which is false. But Europeans have about 4% Neanderthal. Asians have about a 2% Denisovan. I hope I said that right. And Middle Easterners tend to have 1% of either one, right? But let's talk about other archaic humans and how they blended in with populations before they went extinct throughout history. 2 to 19% of their genetic ancestry is traced back to an extinct human species, which they're calling a ghost population until they learn more about them. But this is, in fact, an archaic human. An average of 1/5 of your DNA is made up of this archaic human. So let's not use these things as insults or attacks, especially when you don't know what you're talking about and it can backfire. There were many archaic humans who split from our modern human lineage throughout time. And as time goes on, we'll learn more and more about it. What benefits, what pros and cons came with it, all that. And there were 3 origin points for modern humans. One was in Morocco, which is the lineage my people come from. And one was in West Africa, and one was in Southeast Africa. Right? A lot of the stuff you say and promote and your supporters believe isn't even a scientific fact or general consensus amongst the scientific community, period. And just remember that race is a social construct. If you want to break it down to a 0.01% to act like you're any different than the next human being, that is on you. The rest of us will continue to be anti-racist and anti-oppression.